Guys, thank you so much. It's just a quick pit stop at home for the Canucks. In Edmonton last night, here to take on the Predators and back out tomorrow as they travel to Denver to start a 4-game road trip. Let's get the starting goalies, brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of the NHL. You heard the panel talking about Pekka Rinne, a workhorse for Nashville, his 10th start in 11 games this season for the Predators. And for the Canucks, Eddie Lack, hoping this will be the night he gets his first win of the young season. It's been quite the start to the season for James Neal and the Nashville Predators. 7 goals already in 10 games played this year. And Eddie Lack will have to be wary every time 18 is on the ice. He starts this game. It'll be Chris Tanev and his partner Alex Edler tasked with trying to slow him down. They were part of the penalty-killing brigade for the Canucks last night. Both Tanev and Edler played over 3 minutes short-handed, leading the team in that category. Up front, the Canucks start the Sedins and Radim Vrbata as Edler
has a helmet problem.
He's got a screw loose is what he's got, John.
And there's Pat O'Neill working on it.
All this time to get ready. Edler is now set to go. It's Ribeiro between Neal and Philip Forsberg for the Predators. Romiosi on defense for Shea Weber of Sycamoose. First of 3 meetings between these teams this year. The Canucks won 2 of 3 last season. Daniel Sedin after the puck at center, poked away by Ribeiro, who has a point in each road game Nashville's played this season. Ribeiro drops back to Josi, throws one ahead, that deflects off Neal. The puck back to Weber, who misplayed it. Daniel Sedin in, he shoots, and just off the glove of Rinne and wide of the goal. Almost another occasion where the Canucks scored early on a first shot after Weber misplayed the puck. Now Ribeiro in, stops, drops, and a shot by Ellis is handled by Eddie Lack, who hangs on for the whistle.
Great chance for Daniel Sedin right away, and Pekka Rinne very aggressively comes out to get him. Rinne, look at where he ends up. Well outside the blue paint, gets a little piece of it with his catching glove. Shea Weber tried to play that off his skate, missed it. Good start for Pekka Rinne right away.
Derek Roy, one-time brief Canuck, wins a face-off in the Vancouver zone. Sharp angle shot from Ryan Ellis, handled by Eddie Lack. So Ellis with a couple of bids on goal to start this game. Now Bonino tripped up behind the net. Play goes on. Canucks working to get the puck out, and Jannik Hansen brings it forward. Hansen replacing Alex Burrows on this line for the second straight game. Hamhuis with a shot off the left wing, handled by Rinne, and he covers up.
Willie Desjardins and the Canuck bench didn't like that play where Nick Bonino was tripped up behind the bench, and Desjardins had to be happy with the way his team bounced back after a very lackluster first period last night. Got their legs and were able to take that one home in the third.
Tom Cicito's second game of the season. He comes out with Lyndon Vay and Derek Dorsey, who had the winning goal in Edmonton a night ago. Lucas Spiza with a wrist shot. That didn't get through. Dorsett tried a backhand. Predators come up with the puck, and Ryan Ellis brings it to center on the right wing. Taylor Beck going to the net, takes the pass, low shot, stick save by Lack. Olli Jokinen keeps the puck in. Colin Wilson tried a backhander that didn't get through. Now Ellis, left point, and a shot by Ekholm, handled by Lack. Yannick Weber takes a spill. Puck stays in the Vancouver zone. Ekholm around for Wilson. One of the many players in the NHL with a father that played with John Garrett. Okay, there aren't that many, but no. I never resist the temptation or the opportunity. Yes. Call him the son of Carey.
And that's why he's wearing number 33. Carey used to wear that.
Predators ice the puck here. There'll be a face-off in the Nashville zone.
John and Neil were talking about Peter Laviolette and his relationship with David Poile, and a good fit. It's always nice to get a guy who's won a Stanley Cup, and that's Peter Laviolette when he was in Carolina, and he brought Kevin McCarthy with him, who is one of his assistants. There's Kevin, former teammate of mine, who also was with Peter Laviolette in Carolina and Philadelphia.
Laviolette's first NHL job as a head coach for the New York Islanders. This is 4th stop. Paul Gostin after the puck behind the Vancouver goal. Gabriel Bourque there as well, wearing number 57. Richardson steps in front of him to cut off a pass, but now Gostad swings the puck around for Eric Nystrom. Nystrom checked by Edler, and the Canucks move the puck ahead. Matthias backhands it to center. Now Matthias skates onto the puck, carries over the Nashville line. Zach Kassian with a shot that was blocked by Victor Bartley. The Maple Ridge native playing his first game of the season, and the puck winds up in the glove of Rinne.
Last time these two teams met was March 19th. Eddie Lack's starting goal in that one. That was his stretch of about 97 consecutive starts. He was very good, made 30 saves in the hockey game as the Canucks defeated Shea Weber and the Predators by a score of 2-0.
Lack has faced 3 shots so far in this one, as has Rinne. And here's one from the X that just goes wide. Henrik Sedin gets the rebound. Round for Daniel Sedin. Vrbata behind the goal helps the puck along to the Canuck captain. Ribeiro comes back to intercept, but here's Vrbata, former teammate of Ribeiro's, in with the Coyotes. Can I say Phoenix when they were used to be Phoenix?
Yes, they used to be.
Because that's where I was going. Bieksa, good job to step up and hold that puck in. Vrbata tried to play give and go with Bieksa, but now the Predators break out. Forsberg down the right side. He's got Ribeiro in front. Tried to drag and get a shot off. It went off the skate of Hamhuis and wide of the goal. Daniel Sedin up to Vrbata. Henrik Sedin slaps a rolling puck wide of the goal. Forsberg takes possession and finds Shea Weber. Up ahead to Neal, who plays the puck over the Vancouver line. Canucks the other way. Chris Higgins. Pass block. Now he gets it through. Hansen finds Bonino. Tried to pull it to the backhand, and sprawling was Ekholm to make the play. Now Spies with a drive. Blocked by Neal. Penalty coming up to Nashville. Delayed call, and as Ekholm touches the puck, Neal is signaled to head to the box.
Good pressure by the Canucks, and the Nashville Predators could have had a penalty earlier, a trip by Nick Bonino, but here's James Neal on Chris Higgins, just takes him out, protects that rebound.
All right, Vancouver, the power play starts now.
Canucks weren't overly pleased with their power play efforts last night in Edmonton. 0 for 3 against the Oilers. They start with the second unit. Hansen to the side. Here's the centering pass. Bieksa is robbed by Rinne. Kevin Bieksa denied his first goal of the season on a beautiful setup in front. Canucks hold the puck in. Hamhuis to Nick Bonino. In front for Higgins. Stopped twice by Rinne. The first on a deflection and then on his own rebound.
The chance by Kevin Bieksa. Pekka Rinne doesn't know where it is. It's off his stick. And Kevin just toe drags it, and Pekka Rinne's able to make the save on that one. And then it's the big goaltender. Good position, stops the deflection, and then the rebound.
Somehow they only credited the Canucks with 1 shot through that whole sequence. Here's Henrik Sedin. Centering pass, didn't get through to Daniel, but he pokes the puck along the end boards. Henrik into the corner for Vrbata. Try to get it back towards Edler, who stepped up and nailed Nystrom after blocking Nystrom's clearing attempt. Weber a chance to clear, and here comes Nystrom bringing the puck forward. Edler glancing blow, but Nystrom gets around him. He's got Gostad in front, but Lyndon Vey comes back to tie up Eric Nystrom, and Edler winds up with the puck. There was a brief moment there where it looked like Edler was going to stick the leg out as Nystrom went around him. Now Vey in, pass for Vrbata didn't work, and the Predators have a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Jokinen with Seth Jones. Jokinen centers. Jones couldn't take the pass cleanly, and the puck winds up in the corner. 45 seconds to go in this power play for the Canucks. And Edler skates slowly to neutral ice. Shovel the pass to Higgins, who gets around Jones. Puck winds up in the corner. Hansen, checked by Ekholm. Good hold by Bieksa, but now another odd man rush if they can catch up with the puck, but diving was Edler to knock it the other way, and Hansen moves in on the left wing. Jannik Hansen centers, and the pass never got through. Hamhuis with a drive, and that was blocked in front. Derek Roy clears the puck. Good pace to this game early. No score. Nearing the 6-minute mark. 5 seconds to go in the Vancouver power play as Matthias rips the puck in from center. Yossi, one last clear. James Neal's out of the box, and the Canucks are 0 for 1 on the power play.
Boy, that was a good stop by Pecorini on the shoot-in. Allowed his defenseman to come back high off the glass, and he's still able to stop it.
Hamhuis being watched by Neal, taking his time behind the goal. Passes to Brad Richardson. And back to Hamhuis, who throws one ahead to Kevin Bieksa. Here's Cassian on the left wing. Wrist shot swallowed up by Rinne. And he's faced 6 shots, stopped them all. Alex Edler had Eric Nystrom in the train tracks.
By Rogers will be held on Sunday, December 14th at Rogers Arena. Come see your Canucks up close and watch them showcase their skills and agility at this fun-filled family event. Tickets on sale start at just $15 at Ticketmaster.ca/skills.
Fastest skater, maybe Nick Bonino. He can get it going. Lyndon Bay is not a bad skater. Or some new blood into the fastest skating competition. I think Dale Weiss won it last year, didn't he?
I think he did, yeah. The Flying Dutchman. That shot by Edler hit Cassian. And here comes Mike Ribeiro for Nashville. Drops off for Neal. Stopped by Eddie Lack. James Neal looking for his 8th goal of the season already. Now Matthias kicks the puck to Cassian. Richardson racing to join him. Cassian in, cuts in front. He shoots. Rinne the save. Had a little trouble with it. Puck still loose, and now he's able to cover. And the Predators try to clear the front of the goal.
How many 2-on-1s, odd man rushes have the Canucks given up here in the first 6 minutes of the game? Ribeiro. Little back pass, James Neal tied up as he tries to get to the net. And Zach Cassian, look at Pecorini on this one. Off both pads, and he's able to keep it out. They can't teach size.
Face-off win for Roy. Shea Weber passes ahead. Canucks break that up. Sestito had his stick lifted by Craig Smith. Puck thrown over the Vancouver blue line. Spiza being pursued by Yossi. Able to tip the puck around for Derek Dorsett. Dorsett plays to an open wing. And Seth Jones takes the puck on the ricochet. A little over 7 minutes into the first, no score, but not for lack of opportunity. Roy slides the puck in behind the Canuck goal. Lack to Dorsett. Round to the other side. Matt Cullen holds that one in and fires a shot wide of the goal. Cullen's 38th birthday. Only Hal Gill played a game at an older age for Nashville than Cullen. Gill was 38 years and 21 days, John.
Oh. Should I be writing this down?
I thought you'd be interested. Jokinen intercepts at center. Wilson to the side to Yossi. Moving in on Hamhuis. Beck after the loose puck. Henrik Sedin takes it the other way. Backhands it into the Nashville zone. Daniel Sedin sidesteps the hit attempt of Shea Weber, who then took a shot at Radim Vrbata. Predators come up with the puck, and Yossi fires it to the side. Wilson in, throws on the brakes, looking in front. Passes to Beck, quick shot, Eddie Lack the save. Bieksa to Henrik Sedin, and he'll head to the bench after dropping the puck back.
Both these teams like to control now. Peter Laviolette's system is more puck control than Barry Trotz had when he was coaching the Predators.
Here's Bourque with a step on Bonino, who reached out and knocked the puck away. Hansen flips it to center. Ellis tried to shoot it the other way, blocked by Higgins. Now Ekholm controls. Pass to Gaustad. Edler knocks that one down, quickly hooks the puck the other way. Higgins couldn't collect it, and Gaustad dumps it back in. Just over 9 minutes gone in the first. And Nystrom checks Tanev along the boards. He's able to play the puck around to Edler, who's passed the flex right to Ribeiro. Slap shot, Lack the save, and he hangs on.
Canucks hockey. brought to you by Subway. Try the savory new prime rib melt. Thick cuts of juicy Canadian beef for a limited time only at participating restaurants. Subway. Eat fresh.
Alex Edler's pass up the middle off a skate break to Mike Ribeiro. And Eddie Lack takes it off the chest, no rebound. Here's a play by Nick Bonino. Just good quick stick, long reach.
Matthias has to move in to take this face-off in place of Brad Richardson. And the Canucks control the puck. Bieksa around the glass, and that went off the glass and out. So they'll face off again in the Vancouver zone with 10.5 minutes to go in the first.
Now, would Mike Ribeiro be the most talented center the Predators have ever had?
I think Peter Forsberg was pretty good.
Well, yeah, but towards the end, and he was hurt all the time. I'm thinking David Legwand,
Yeah.
Mike Fisher.
Ribeiro's good, but I'm going to stick with my original answer. For sheer talent.
Yes.
Because Philip Forsberg's not bad either.
No.
Richardson moving in. Wrist shot, stick save, Rinne. Matthias onto the puck, tips it behind the goal. Victor Bartley swings it around. And was it out? No, apparently not. Kassian tried to throw one on goal. Forsberg from center plays the puck over the Vancouver line. Canucks turn it the other way. Matthias, drop pass. Kassian moves in. Zach Kassian, one hand on the stick, finds Richardson behind the goal. Richardson gets away from Bartley. They re-engage in the corner. Now the puck thrown towards Matthias, spinning on the left wing. Blue line feed. Hamhuis tried to put one on goal. That was off the stick of Forsberg. Forsberg missed that puck. Hamhuis wrist shot, gloved by Rinne. And he'll take the whistle with 9:36 to go in the first. No score. You're watching Canucks hockey on Sportsnet.
Nobody happier last night to see Derek Dorsett score than Zach Kassian, who was in the penalty box at the time. Got us thinking about another penalty box celebration back to the playoffs. Game 7, first round, 0-4. Matt Cook scoring. It was Ed Jovanovski celebrating like a madman for that goal. Of course, he was still in the box when the game ended, John.
In the words of Tom Larscheid, of course prayer works. As Cook tipped it in. Marty Zelina had the winner in overtime with Jovanovski still in the penalty box. Scoreless here in 2014. Canucks and the Predators, Shea Weber. Now the puck thrown ahead, that'll be icing. And a face-off in the Nashville zone.
This period brought to you by the bold new 2015 Toyota Camry. One bold choice leads to another.
After the icing call, Willie Desjardins, the Sedin line was already on the ice.
Face-off win, and Bravada, quick shot went wide. Oh, a hard hit, Spiza. He's going to be challenged by Weber here after running over Taylor Beck, and they drop the gloves. And the linesmen jump in early. Spiza, second big hit of the game. First one belonged to Edler on Nystrom, and Taylor Beck on the receiving end of this one.
This is a good hit. There's Taylor Beck. He's just trying to tip it by Spiza, and Spiza's got him. The puck's right there. There's the puck. And there was no penalty call on the Spiza hit. And Weber sticking up for his teammate. Interesting to see how they call this one.
Peter Laviolette interested as well. Tom Cowell with the explanation. You wonder if Weber is getting an extra 2, and he is, probably for instigating. I think Laviolette wanted a penalty on the original hit, but he's not going to get it. Canucks to the power play for the second time. The power play brought to you by Subway. Try the new Canadian beef prime rib melt at Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Well, it's a big loss for the Predators, obviously. And Shea Weber is in the penalty box, and he kills most of their penalties. He's the second highest minute man in defensemen in the league. Only Ryan Suter plays more than Shea Weber.
10:46, the time of the scrap. And the extra 2 that puts Vancouver on the power play. Okay, it's not a fighting major. It's a double minor for roughing. And Spiza gets 2 minutes for roughing. Guess they didn't put on good enough show.
No, the linesman got in there too fast.
Henrik Sedin to Alex Edler. Wrist shot, hit the bar, then it deflected in. Off Daniel Sedin, I think. Just got in over the line, and the Canucks lead 1-0.
A good screen in front of Pekka Rinne. And Alex Edler gets the shot through. It's a wrist shot. Radim Vrbata and Alex Edler. Daniel Sedin is right in the shooting lane.
Oh, hit Rinne.
Hit Rinne. Daniel won't get a point on this one, but he is the reason that goes in. Because he is lined up. Look at the perfect screen by Daniel Sedin. Hits Pekka Rinne just below the 35 and bounces in the net.
So it'll be Edler's second of the season, a power play goal at 11:10. One nothing Vancouver. Canucks looking for a 4th straight win and off to a good start in this second of a back-to-back. Third of 12 back-to-backs the Canucks play this season. And as has been chronicled, tough start in this predicament so far. Here's Derek Royan with a wrist shot blocked by Kevin Bieksa. Bonino gets the puck to the line, not out. Ellis into the corner. Hand use there up the glass. Now Smith deflects off into Roy, who tried to put one in front for Cullen, but that was intercepted. Henrik Sedin, Radim Vrbata, the assist on the Edler goal. Henrik had a 6-game point streak snapped last night in Edmonton that he picks up right where he's been through the early parts of this season. Kassian ahead for Richardson. Now Matthias swoops back for the puck. Has his pocket picked by Forsberg. Then he hooked Forsberg, and Matthias will get a penalty for that. As Tanev touches the puck, the whistle blows, and Sean Matthias will head to the penalty box.
Sean Matthias in the hands. And that's why he's going to go out for hooking.
Canucks with a 1-0 lead thanks to a power play goal of their own to Alex Edler, and a winner on Score and Win for Safeway and Kraft Shredded Cheese. Christophe Malm of Vancouver, he won a Troy-built single-stage snow thrower.
Another look at Daniel Sedin. Look at Pekka Rinne. He has no idea where that is. It's hard off the post, off his back, and in.
First power play for Nashville. And it's been a tough go for the Predators, although they went 1 for 1 in their last game in Calgary. Nashville is 3 for 28 to start the year, ranked 25th in the league at just over 10%. Canucks penalty killing on a run of 12 kills in a row, and now up to 5th in the NHL. That puck, as Richardson took a chomp at it, deflected off Cullen and out. Face-off comes outside the line as we check in with Murph.
And quickly, let's remind people to play Safeway's $1 million Score and Win. If any Vancouver player scores 5 goals in tonight's game, David Perrin of Powell River could win $1 million.
Thought it was the Edmonton Oilers scored last night. Maybe he was part of the Safeway contest.
Oh, Perrin. David, I get it.
Now you get it. If I have to explain it, it's no good.
Puck driven in by Ryan Ellis past Eddie Lack. Minute 25 to go in the Nashville power play. Hughes gets to the puck, and that deflects
Kevin
off of
Bieksa's
Predators.
hurt.
Oh yeah, Bieksa checking his face for damage, it looks like.
Out comes Mike Bernstein. Looks like he hit his head on the glass as Colin Wilson was in on him.
Almost like his eye got poked by something. Canucks will obviously hope he can continue, but it won't
He's
be
gonna go
till
right to
after
the dressing room.
visit to the dressing room.
Kevin doesn't wear contacts.
Doesn't wear a visor either.
No, I was thinking maybe.
Oh, you know what? He might. I see what you're saying. I've seen him with glasses on before.
Maybe the contacts got shifted around.
Here's a chance for Ellis. Left the save as he squared himself and was able to hang on.
Eddie Lack has been really good and no rebounds whatsoever. He misses the shoot around, but then he gets back in position, out, square, and absolutely no rebound.
There's evidence of what I was talking about earlier, and the penalty kills had a tough go for Nashville as well. But the Predators still off to a 6-2-2 start.
Their goals, they've only allowed 21 goals against in their 10 games.
Roy forces the puck to the corner. Wilson there trying to take it away from Richardson. Edler has some room and he makes no mistake.
Pecorini only played 24 games last year. They had to use 5 goaltenders.
Missed 51 with the infection after the hip surgery. That puck into the Vancouver bench. Whistle blows with 23 seconds to go in the Nashville power play.
We talk about the 21 goals against in their 10 games. Last year, they were right around 3 goals a game against. And they're trying to play that Barry Trotz team defense, and if you don't get goaltending, it doesn't work, and that's what happened to the Predators last year. Their goals for wasn't bad. They just couldn't keep the puck out of their net without Pecorini.
Benino couldn't get the puck out. Predators set it up. Here's Ekholm cutting it on goal. That either hit Weber or Lack, and the puck went out of play.
Finger cooked tonight. Order from over 100 menu items at bostonpizza.com.
Canucks defense have been so good this year at using their sticks, and there's Yannick Weber. Stick on Ekholm, able to make that one go up and over the glass.
Henrik Sedin wins the face-off. Tanev couldn't get the puck by Yossi. Now it's onto the stick of Daniel Sedin. Spiza, dangerous pass. Puck squirts in front, and diving out to poke it away was Tanev. Mathias is out of the box, and he'll join this rush with Daniel Sedin. Daniel tried to throw one across to Henrik and deflected to Spiza. He shoots, and that was blocked by Ekholm, who sprawled in the slot. Daniel Sedin breaks that one up. Forsberg gets the puck. Finds some room and carries over the Vancouver line. Beck takes the pass, and that one off the throat guard of Eddie Lack and into his glove. Lack's faced 8, stopped them all. The Canucks lead 1-0.
With any regime change, there's usually changes to the locker room, whether it be motivational storylines or lines or old pictures from former players. The first time I've ever seen this. Television's in the Canucks room, and it rotates through pictures of recent games. Willie Desjardins idea because he wants to celebrate recent success as well as some old success. John?
Well, they've had quite a bit to celebrate of late. 3 straight wins, second time they've done that in the first month and a bit of the season. Lyndon Vey checked by Nystrom in the corner. Edler steps into Beck. Bartley moves down from the blue line. Beck behind the goal. Edler on him. Long shot by Jokinen, and then Lack through the screen of Nystrom, able to make the save. Radim Vrbata. Richard off the right wing, handled by Rinne, and he'll hang on for the whistle.
This period brought to you by the bold new 2015 Toyota Camry. One bold choice leads to another.
We saw Daniel Sedin in front of Rennie, and here's Eric Nystrom trying to get lined up with Eddie Lack. He's outside the blue paint. Good position, and Lack's still able to find it.
It was a late night last night, John.
Yes?
I had to work the game in Edmonton.
Yes, you did.
You got some
Yes,
beauty
you
sleep.
did.
My phone is blowing up, reminding me the Canucks have won 4 in a row. My apologies. They have
Yes.
won 4 in a row. First time since they won 7 straight last December. So I've shortchanged them a couple of times tonight, but only through lack of sleep.
Ryan Miller has been absolutely great in those 4. He's only allowed 7 goals against. Eddie Lack has picked it up here. First period. The shots on goal, there's been a lot of chances at both ends. They're 11-11 with 4 minutes, 14 seconds still left.
Chris Tanev being watched by Matt Cullen. Gets the puck around. Edler clears it out. Knocked down by Weber. Now Matthias is slow to get up, and he's limping as he tries to head towards the Vancouver bench. Left leg, perhaps.
Sean Matthias along the boards. He gets pushed. I don't think he was expecting Josi to pinch in on that play. He really came down deep.
Might have banged his knee on the boards as he went down. Canucks playing without Kevin Bieksa, left a few minutes ago. Now they have a forward in some discomfort. Dan Hamhuis with Bieksa out, paired on this shift with Yannick Weber. Daniel Sedin had that puck deflect off him, sent the other way by the Predators. Now Josi for Nystrom. And he chops the puck in behind the Canuck goal. Daniel Sedin to Henrik Sedin. Daniel again. Pass off a stick. Hamhuis will skate back in his own zone. Dan Hamhuis ahead to Jannik Hansen, who deflects the puck through. Rinne clears it himself ahead to Forsberg. 3-on-2 Predators. Forsberg down the left side, cuts to the middle, now drops off. Ellis tried to return the pass. Canucks intercept, and they're 2-on-1 the other way. Hansen with Higgins. Jannik Hansen in, centers Higgins, Deeks. Oh, that is stopped by Rinne, and the puck is cleared out of the crease. Rinne with the left leg, and now a hand pass stops play after Higgins came so close to making it 2-0.
Boy, that was a great move by Chris Higgins in tight on Pekka Rinne. And Rinne with a better save. There's the turnover as Ellis tries to jump in. Jannik Hansen goes wide. Chris Higgins does a nice job to stay outside. Goes the backhand. And those long legs of Pekka Rinne when you're 6'6", just throws it out there his left leg, and he's able to make the save.
Ole Jokinen, Derek Dorsett.
I know who I'd take in that one.
I don't think it was going to happen.
Ole Jokinen's looking for his first point as a Nashville Predator.
Sestito steps up and hits Seth Jones. Jones, a measure of revenge along the boards. And the puck is out to center. Collected by Chris Tanev. Jokinen shadowing him as Tanev passes to Lucas Sbisa. Lyndon Vay shoots the puck in from center as he's bodied by James Neal. Bartley's pass deflects off Ribeiro. Now we have another injured Canuck, Derek Dorsett, behind the play. And he's struggling to get to the bench. It's been a tough period for Vancouver. Dorsett gets to the bench, replaced by Zach Kassian. Bartley leaves for Jones. Matthias closes the gap quickly on him. And he comes up with the puck, gets it to Kassian. Now Matthias slow to get up. He was stumped. There's going to be a penalty for that hit. Canucks still have the puck though. Matthias couldn't jam it home and the whistle blows. And Matthias maybe not satisfied with the penalty call. A little angry on the stoppage. If no other calls come out of this, Vancouver gets its third power play.
Talked about a good pace to this period. How about the emotion in this one? These teams haven't played each other yet this season and have been involved physically. There's Mike Ribeiro with the high hit on Matthias. And then Forsberg comes in. Sean Matthias might have thought it was Forsberg that gave him the hit, but it was Mike Ribeiro.
Canucks scored on their last power play. They're 1 for 2. If they call it an illegal check to the head as they did on the Andrew Ference one last night. And it is an illegal hit to the head call. Alex Edler rushes the puck ahead, pass to Daniel Sedin. Edler, Henrik Sedin, Daniel Sedin, Henrik again. They continue to play catch. And now a shot by Vrbata over top of the goal after Daniel was able to tip the slap pass on net. Vrbata, Edler with room, lets it fly, and he missed the net. Weber able to clear. Final minute, first period. Power play will carry over if the Canucks fail to score. Henrik Sedin bobbles the puck, has to turn back. Hughes and Weber have come on. Now the rest of the second unit makes its way onto the ice. Yannick Weber. Here's Nick Bonino. Pass across, and he split the uprights. Canucks move back in. Bonino, this time a good pass to Weber. Fakes the shot, dishes to the side. Higgins stopped by Rene. Hughes, 2 seconds to go in the period. Weber lets it go. He missed the net, and that'll do it. Yannick Hansen, frustrated in front. I think he thought he could get a tip on that one. The only goal belonging to Alex Edler. As the Canucks outshot Nashville 14-11, Rene solved once. Eddie Lack, looking for his first win, has stopped all 11 so far. So far, so good for the home team. 1-0 Canucks, Brad, here at Rogers Arena. Bieksa injured in that first period. As the Sedins get set to start on the power play here in the second, but Kevin Bieksa has not returned. So the Canucks going with 5 defensemen. There's 26 seconds to go on the Mike Ribeiro penalty for the illegal check to the head on Sean Matthias. Shea Weber clears the puck down. Edler, the goal scorer, goes back, and he'll start from behind his own net. Edler to center, drops to Henrik Sedin. Henrik to Daniel. Now back to Edler with room at the blue line. Weber. As they don't use Lyndon Bay on this power play. Henrik Sedin, Weber had to take it on the backhand. Now he tries a pass as Ribeiro steps onto the ice. Vancouver 1 for 3 on the power play. 5 power play shots total. And again, the Canucks producing the only goal of the game with the man advantage. Henrik Sedin pokes the puck ahead, blocked by James Neal, now forced out to center. Ekholm stripped of the puck by Vrbata. His wrist shot well off the mark. Spiza holds the puck in. Predators appealing for too many men on the ice, and they might get the call. As Spiza jumped on and played the puck, Weber tried to get on the bench, but the 5th too many men call against the Canucks this season.
Well, here we go. There's 7. Yannick Weber wasn't close on that one. He was closer to center ice than he was to the bench.
So the second power play opportunity for Nashville. Lyndon Bay over to serve the minor. Ribeiro had the puck deflect off his stick right to Brad Richardson. And Chris Higgins, dangerous pass at center. And it goes right across the ice, now brought forward by Cullen. Philip Forsberg. Hamhuis reached to intercept that one. His clearing attempt blocked though. And here's Ribeiro. Cullen to Josi. Cullen again to James Neal. Backhands one in front. Forsberg. Oh, it's off Hamhuis' hand. Puck was headed wide, but off the stick of Dan Hamhuis, and a power play goal by Nashville ties the game at 1.
Had the fresh take too soon. Stick positioning, and Dan Hamhuis is trying to get his stick in on this one, and there was no reason. That one would have gone right through, and there's nobody there, and Dan is just trying to knock it down, and instead he knocks it into his own net.
Second for Forsberg to go with his 7 assists this season. And the Predators with the friendly bounce, able to pull even. Now Spiza knocked off the puck. Winds up on the stick of Dorsett. Weber holds that one in. Colin Wilson to Craig Smith. He's checked, and Dorsett brings the puck out. Tried to get it in, hit the linesman with it. Don Henderson, who now blows it down on the offside.
Boy, I don't know how Don Henderson can put this one all the way back down when Derek Dorsett's trying to dump it in and hits the linesman. And then the linesman's saying, okay, you can't touch that one. And Don's a good friend of mine. But that's one of those where, okay, he's saying, okay, you shouldn't hit me with that. And Don, there's Don. Okay, you hit me in the shins with that. I'm going to put the faceoff down in the defensive zone.
We do have microphones down there. I think there's a little more color to what he said. Here's a centering pass. Edler couldn't quite reach it. And the Predators trying to break in. 2-on-1. Beck turns. Still has the puck. Throws it towards the goal. Tanev intercepts. And able to slide the puck forward, tipped out by Jannik Hansen. Ryan Ellis. Now Ekholm in on the right wing, cuts in the middle with a wrist shot. Edler able to reach in and deflect that puck out of play.
Now there's the good part of the fresh take again, John.
Yes.
There's Alex Edler with the stick in position. Now Tom Sestito played his first game last night in Edmonton. He's playing back-to-back games. He's in front of his own net. And you can see as he pushes off there, he grimaces and almost like it was an upper leg problem. Looks like it's the left leg. He's not moving very well.
So Sestito gone for now. And the Canucks minus both a defenseman and a forward as Lack able to fight off the traffic in the crease, most notably of Mike Ribeiro, and hang on to the puck. Now he's got to find it.
Eddie Lack gets out in front of Ribeiro and Dan Hamhuis. And Ribeiro accidentally, on purpose, into the goaltender. They're still looking for it. They're finally located.
In skates off the faceoff. Hamhuis comes out with it. Ahead for Daniel Sedin, whose pass for Henrik was too far in front, and Forsberg takes the puck away. Ribeiro slots it in towards Lack. Henrik, tip pass Daniel. Ahead for Verbata, who will move in on Josi. Josi knocks the puck away. Verbata keeps after it. Now Henrik Sedin checked by Ribeiro, who feeds ahead to Gabriel Bourque, and he gets the puck out. Here's Bork. Tried a wrist shot off the stick of hand. Hughes. Bork gets the loose puck. Josi to Weber. Down for Ribeiro. And Hughes checks in. Takes a bump from Neal. Henrik Sedin flips the puck forward, facilitating a near full change for the Canucks. Spiza had to stay up. Josi. Backhander and a blocker saved by Lack. Might have been a little surprised by that backhand shot. Predators were changing, nobody at the point. Puck slides through to Pekarinen. He hoists it ahead for Gostad, who takes it neatly off his skate, but then Nystrom preceded him over the blue line. Murph.
Guys, Safeway's featured participating product for tonight's game is Kraft shredded cheese. Up to a strong start this year, John. Peanut butter, chips,
Yes.
cheese.
Oh man, we had the nachos to go with it last week. The tortilla chips.
Hitting the road with a vengeance this week. Although I guess you get to come home early.
Oh. No comment.
Seth Jones waiting with the puck behind his net. Now Victor Bartlett in with a wrist shot wide. Jones hooks the puck towards the middle. Jokinen in for Wilson. Edler knocks the puck to the near side. Beck is onto it. Wilson missed that pass, and Edler now leads for Brad Richardson. Tanev couldn't knock the puck down. Jokinen's onto it. Tanev takes it away. Ahead to Cassian, and into the middle. Richardson with some speed. Wide on Jones, who knocked the puck away. Richardson goes after it in the corner. Cassian from behind the goal. Comes onto the backhand to the crease. Richardson couldn't jam it home, and Rene dives out and covers the puck. Tempers running a little high again.
John and Neil were talking about Seth Jones and how well he has been playing, and Seth Jones had made a nice play on Brad Richardson on the rush, and then he takes Richardson going to the net and ties up Brad's stick so that he can't get to that puck. A good defensive play by Seth Jones. Brad, the puck's there, and Jones just ties that stick up so well that he can't make contact. Anton Volchenkov's suspension will affect Seth Jones because they've been playing together, and Volchenkov a real stay-at-home guy, and it allowed Seth Jones to jump up into the play more.
4 games for Volchenkov for the hit on Calgary's Furling. Andrew Ferentz, hearing scheduled for tomorrow for the hit on Zach Cassidy. Lyndon Vay takes a spill. Verbata taking a double shift here in Sestito's spot after he limped off after his last shift. Weber in deep. Dorsett cross-check. Nets off, I think. And now Dorsett into it with Josi after he was cross-checked right at the side of the goal. Was there going to be a penalty for that?
I don't think so. I think, as you said, the net was off, and that's why the whistle was blown. The referee was pointing at the post. Roman Josi has been playing over 27 minutes a game. He gets knocked down by Dorsett right there, and that's why he was upset. He felt that Dorsett cross-checked him to start with.
Weber came in. Dorsett gets an elbowing penalty, and Weber doesn't get anything. And you can see what Derek Dorsett thinks of that.
Well, I wasn't watching the referee out at center ice. I was watching the referee down low, and he did not have his arm up. It must have been the referee at center ice that made that call.
Nashville scored on its last power play, the bench miner, and Lack will cover that one. Ribeiro, Neal, Forsberg up front. Josi and Cullen are on the points for the Predators. That goal by Forsberg, just the 4th power play goal of the season for Nashville in 30 opportunities. They'll try to cash in again on chance 31. Edler able to wrist one up the middle and down the ice. Rinne stick handles into the crease, now gives the puck away. Henderson kicks it to Higgins, who tried a shot. Deflects back towards Hamhuis, who sends the Predators back.
How many minutes is Dan Hamhuis going to play in this game?
Out there with Spiza right now. Again, Kevin Bieksa, injured in the first period, has not returned. What appeared to be something to do with his right eye. Craig Smith put himself offside as he reached back to take that pass.
Great Canadian Oil Change. Family owned and operated. Superb customer service and new vehicle warranty approved products, including Valvoline Premium Oils. Great Canadian Oil Change. Over 60 locations across Canada.
Another face-off win by Brad Richardson, who's been pretty good again in this one.
Tanev, the clear, and now the Predators with 45 seconds go on the Dorsett penalty. Start from deep in their own zone. Ellis drives the puck in. Derek Roy across. Weber shoots and he missed the net. Ellis to Smith. His shot hit a body. Roy on the rebound. Couldn't take it cleanly. Looking for his first goal of the year. Tanev had his stick grabbed for a second. Able to fight it off, get the puck to Richardson, who clears the puck down the ice. Canucks only one shot in the period. Nashville has only had 3, but has missed the target on a few occasions. Now there's a shot by Jokinen that whistles over top of the goal. Canucks are back to full strength. Nashville 1 for 3 on the power play, and here's Daniel Sedin on the right wing, throwing one in front. Chopping at the puck was Dorsett, but he couldn't make contact. Chance for Jokinen, and the puck went under his stick. Beck. Bank pass. Jones to the right point. Ekholm had it go over his stick, but he did well to keep the puck on side. Now Vrbata is able to pick it up, and he'll carry ahead. Radim Vrbata for Henrik Sedin, but is slow to take that one. Now it's off Vrbata to Daniel. And close play at the line. Don Henderson waves it down. It's been good emotion in this one. Edler and Wilson had it going in front of the Vancouver goal.
Once of a lifetime experience also includes a signed jersey and authentic Canucks workout gear. Go to Canucks.com/trainlikeacanuck to enter.
John, we'll look back at the Kevin Bieksa injury. Craig Smith comes in. It's almost like his shoulder pad caught Kevin just in the right eye. Very freakish sort of hit, but Kevin has not come back.
Hope for the best, obviously. Scary part of the body to think about being injured. Fans of this hockey team know that only too well. Eddie Lack steers that puck to Christopher Tanev. Cross to Dan Hamhuis, who gets the puck out. Ribeiro plays it forward, and Tanev is back for Vancouver. 9 minutes into the second, a 1-1 tie. Both goals on power plays. Edler in the first, Forsberg here in the second. And both pucks that deflected in off the team trying to defend that net.
Well, David Poile went out and got some offense. James Neal, 7 goals. He doesn't have any assists to go with those 7 goals, but Mike Ribeiro continues to put up points. And getting back to your Peter Forsberg center, Peter Forsberg played 17 games as a Predator, had 15 points. So you're saying case closed, but Mike Ribeiro has 8 points in 10 games.
Are we going to really argue this?
No, we aren't.
Because
No,
your point was,
no,
well,
we aren't.
how many games did Forsberg play? Well, he played more than Ribeiro has.
Yes.
Higgins intercepts and clears. Hansen trying to take the puck from Ekholm, who was able to fight off that challenge and send it the other way. Bieksa out, as we mentioned. Tom Sestito as well for the Canucks. Shaken up here in period number 2. Cullen to Smith, who backhands the puck in. Tanev goes back. Halfway through the second period, Hansen tips the puck in behind the Nashville goal. Rene tries to clear. Tanev is waiting. Gostad trying to check his man. Puck thrown across. Dorsett sends it back in front. Here's Tanev. Slap shot. Missed the net. Spiza. Dorsett fighting for the puck. Comes to Bork, who turns and makes a perfect pass to Eric Nystrom. Gostad racing to join him as Nystrom moves in with a wrist shot. Eddie Lack handles that with a blocker.
On your left.
Now Gostad from a sharp angle, and Lack makes the save. Higgins gets the puck out. Shea Weber controls. Colin Wilson along the end boards. Forsberg knocked down by Tanev. Gets back up with the puck. Weber to Bartley at the left point. Here's Colin Wilson again. And coming out front with a shot, quick whistle. As Lack made the save, he'll take it. Canucks needed a change there. 8:50 to go in the second. All knotted at 1.
Pizza Hut wants you to win an autographed Canucks jersey with a chance to win free pizza for a year with their Eat Pizza Win Stuff contest. Go to pizzahut.ca or call 310-1010 to order and you're automatically entered to win every week from September to November. Pizza Hut, the official pizza of the Vancouver Canucks.
Henrik Sedin's Canucks have only mustered 1 shot here in the second. Nashville's had 6. Yannick Weber got that one past the official to Radim Vrbata. Daniel Sedin deflects the puck through. Henrik moves in on Shea Weber, who rings the puck around for Wilson. Blocked by Hamhuis, who came down from the left point. The former Predator, ooh, that pass right through to Rene, who had to be alert to stop friendly fire. Now he's way out to cut off the puck above the goal line, get it to Roman Josi. Canucks hold the puck in. Vrbata tries a wrist shot blocked by Weber. Now he chips it in front. Forsberg takes that one away. And Philip Forsberg shoots the puck around and out. Hamhuis didn't get much on his pass, and the Predators move back in. Forsberg slap shot, and Lack takes that one in the crest and hangs on. Murph.
Well, guys, there's Roman Josi, a Swiss defender, and becoming quite a hero in his home country. He's not quite reached the status of Roger Federer, which is his hero, but in the Swiss Athlete of the Year category this year. Cross-country skier went first, followed by Roger. And there's the hockey player, Roman Josi, climbing the ranks.
How would you like to play with Shea Weber almost every shift?
That'd be all right.
Yeah, that would be all right.
Battle for the puck in the corner. Cullen and Tanev. Canucks out with it. Alex Edler. Pass to Zach Kassian, who chips the puck in. Richardson on the forecheck. Matthias there as well. Smith got it to the blue line, and now Cullen able to poke the puck into the Vancouver zone. Craig Smith. Pass blocked by Matthias, and the Canucks break the center. Kassian from Matthias off the stick of Jones, and Predators race back with Jokinen on the left wing. Slap shot hit the outside of the post. Now a shot from the line, tipped by Roy. Canucks send it ahead to Zach Kassian. Sean Matthias puts it on the backhand, throws one in front. Roy able to step in front of Bonino and intercept. Here's Jokinen with that close call on his last foray down the left wing. This slap shot off the stick of Eddie Lack. Weber gets the puck out. Higgins pass deflects to Yannick Weber. Here's Bonino in on the left wing, centering the puck. And nifty play by Ribeiro to intercept that pass intended for Chris Higgins. Predators ice the puck. The faceoff comes back into their zone. Well, it's a new season, a new game, a million reasons to play. Play the new Sportsnet Fantasy Hockey Pool on Sportsnet.ca for your chance to win $1 million or a VIP trip for two to a 2015-16 NHL regular season game. It's free and easy to play. Get started today at Sportsnet.ca/fantasy. Bonino with a face-off win. Here's a shot by Spiza. He ripped it over top of the goal. Puck is on the back of the net. Canucks jar it loose. Bonino getting the extra shift here, and on the line where Tom Sestito had been playing. Taylor Beck after the puck in the Vancouver zone. Dorsett comes up with it. Sidesteps Gabriel Bourque, gains center and sends the puck in. Being told now that neither Kevin Bieksa or Tom Sestito will return tonight, so the Canucks will play the rest of the game down two bodies. Gostad spinning out from behind the goal, tried to center, now gets a shot away, stopped by Lack, who had the bottom of the net covered. Edler to the loose puck. Sends it gently up the boards. Rabada able to gain possession and dump the puck in behind the Nashville goal. Roman Josi. Pass up the middle, deflects to Rabada. He feeds back to Spiza, quickly up to Henrik Sedin. Henrik for Daniel. Weber reached out to knock that pass away. And he was trying to hold the puck in. And a hand pass stops play as the Predators thought they were going to have a chance for a 2-on-1. 5:11 to go in the second. 1-1 to score. They're off the ice. They're on the air every weekday. Hockey Central at noon, returning for its 9th season. Darren Millard hosts Sportsnet's all-star roster of NHL insiders, including Nick Kypreos, Doug McLean, Damian Cox, PJ Stock, John Shannon, and many more. Tune in weekdays at noon on Sportsnet.
Well, the Kevin Bieksa injury, it's a mystery. It doesn't look like much, but now we're hearing that it might have been the puck that came up in that mess of players and maybe caught him in the eye.
Alex Edler now set up for Daniel Sedin as Rabada teed it up. Now Rabada from the other side, and he chopped one wide of the goal. Daniel Sedin towards the net. Rabada looking for the deflection. And I'm still with just one shot on goal, but some sustained pressure here. One of the rare times this period. Tanev holds the puck in. Henrik Sedin tips to the corner to Daniel. He curls towards the front. Rabada gets the puck, tried to wrist it on goal, blocked by Gostad. Daniel Sedin leaves in the corner for Henrik. Blue line feed, Tanev. Down to Henrik again. Rabada tips the puck to Daniel Sedin. Henrik across, Rabada fanned on it as he was able to shake free from Gostad, get a little separation, but couldn't make good contact with the puck. Brad Richardson onto the ice. In on the forecheck. Kassian back to Spiza. Followed the puck, and it's outside the line to center. Neal sends it across. Forsberg moves in with a wrist shot and went off the knob of the goal stick of Eddie Lack, I think, and the puck goes over the glass in the corner.
Predators do a good job as the Steens start the cycle, and everybody stays until Radim Rabada has that chance. And you can see his frustration as he thought that might get tipped before it got to him. Off the heel. You're right, Eddie Lack had some trouble with that one. The puck stood up just as it was shot.
Ekholm Indy. Neal covering for him on the blue line. Now Forsberg, shot hits Spiza. Richardson to the side. Matthias banks the puck to the line, and Hamhuis pokes it out. Wilson turned back. Neal hadn't vacated the zone yet. Now he has the puck inside his own blue line. With 3.5 to go in the second, a 1-1 tie. Shots are 10-1 Nashville. Black out to play that one, so icing waved off. Hamhuis up the far side. Seth Jones down from the right point. Here's Colin Wilson. In for Forsberg. Matthias went to check here. Puck comes free to Bonino, who makes a hard backhand pass onto the stick of Jannik Hansen. Jones back for the puck. Turns to get away from Bonino. And the Predators move the puck to center. Deflects off Bartley right to Derek Roy. Craig Smith from behind the Vancouver goal. Passes back, Jones. In deep for Roy. Intercepting in front is Bonino. And the puck out to neutral ice, played back in by Victor Bartley. Smith played the puck as Edler tried to play the body, and the Predators hold it in the Vancouver zone. Chris Higgins. Hansen wants the pass. There it is. Trying to move in on the left wing. Jannik Hansen. Puck got away from him, but he gets it again. Puts it in front. Higgins couldn't control it on the backhand. And Shea Weber leads the rush the other way with a pass to Craig Smith, whose long shot is knocked down by Eddie Lack. Under 2 minutes to go in the second. And Lyndon Vay moves down the right wing. Vay centers Dorsett, stopped by the right pad of Rinne. And now the puck triples to the side of the goal, and Rinne's able to grab it and get the whistle after the best Canuck chance of the period.
Lyndon Vay doesn't shoot the puck, but makes a nice play to Derek Dorsett. What a save by Pekka Rinne again. Out goes that long leg. This time the right pad out to make the save.
His best save of the game was probably the one off Higgins in the first, but that his toughest test here the second. Only had to stop 2. And Dorsett tested him. Now Weber throws one up the middle, tipped out by Ribeiro. Hamhuis overskated the puck. Taylor Beck picks it up, goes around the net, out the near side with a pass back to Roman Josi. Shea Weber, pass for Josi, comes outside the line, and he has to retreat. Intercepting is Spiza. Vay tags up after Spiza shot the puck in. One last shift for the Sedin line, with just over a minute to go in period 2. Josi taking his time before driving the puck around. For Jokinen at center, he tips it to Eric Nystrom. The shot blocked by Edler. Nystrom goes after the rebound. Dug free by Chris Tanev, who delays before finding Henrik Sedin. The Canuck tapped him in. Pass to Daniel. Daniel Sedin drags. Couldn't get a shot away. Edler's onto the puck. Round behind. Verbata gets it in the corner. Henrik Sedin for Daniel Sedin. Ellis trying to stay with him. Daniel trying to get the puck to Verbata. Nystrom intercepts. Passes back to Ekholm. Final 15 seconds of the second period. Higgins did well to knock that one down, trying to create a late chance. Across, here's Spiza, he shoots, and that one deflected over the glass with 2 seconds to go in the second period.
Nice play by Chris Higgins to knock this one down and creates the chance in front, and that's up Pekka Rinne, who just happened to get hit by it. You can tell from his reaction he had no idea where it was.
Two seconds on the clock at the moment. They're going to make sure time doesn't need to be added. before they drop this puck. Referee Francois Saint Laurent over discussing things at the...
Pull the goalie.
Yeah, really. Why not?
Exactly.
Go forward with the
Go
face-off?
forward. They might even have time to draw it back if they add another second or two.
If they add 2, I'm not pulling the goalie.
Anything under 5
Is that?
was the rule. The Roger Nielsen rule.
I was going to
The
say.
Roger Nielsen rule was 5 or less.
Fewer.
5 or fewer. Thank you.
Eddie Lack is going to head to the bench.
They were listening.
Yes? Henrik Sedin will take the draw. Hoping for a minor miracle. Remember the fast face-offs? Tied up. And much ado about nothing, but now Neal and Hansen into it a bit. Everybody gathers in front of the Nashville goal, even Pekka Rinne, as the Canucks have an extra skater out there. But it was Rinne's team tying the game here in the second. He was not busy. Philip Forsberg with a puck that went in off the stick of Dan Hamhuis, and these teams all even heading to the third period. Canucks won. The Predators won as we send it back to Brad Fay.
Predators tied at 1 through 2 periods of play. We're here with Canucks forward Bo Horvat, who just got back from Utica in the conditioning stint. How did it go down there, Bo?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was good to get playing some games again. I met up with some of the guys that were here in training camp, Hunter and Nick Jensen and all those guys. So it was really good, seeing all of them and getting back playing some games, get my pace up and everything. So I was really excited to get back playing again.
How anxious are you to get that first NHL game under your belt?
Yeah, I can't wait. It's been my dream ever since I was a little kid. I've always dreamed playing in the NHL, and to finally get this opportunity, whether it comes really sooner in the future, I just can't wait to step on the ice.
So much speculation about what might be best for you, whether to play some games, go back to junior. What's your thoughts on it?
I think I think I had a pretty good preseason. I think I proved to myself and to the coaching staff that I have the ability to play at this next level, and I just got to prove that in the games going forward.
Thanks for your time. Best of luck.
Thank you,
John.
Murph, thanks. Still just 19 years old, John. And
Unbelievable, yeah.
that debut could come Tuesday. Alex Burrows will still have a game left on his suspension. Tom Sestito has left this game with an injury. Here's a chance for Danielson. He ran off the hop off the outside of the net. As in the opening 10 seconds, he got a pretty good shot away off the left side. Daniel from behind the goal. Turns in the corner. Trying to pass back to Edler. That was blocked by James Neal. And now Shea Weber gets the puck ahead to Neal, who backhands the puck over the Vancouver line. Chris Tanev with a good burst of speed. Daniel Sedin couldn't take that pass. And he'll head to the bench as both teams make an early change. Craig Smith deflects the puck over the Vancouver line. Spiza couldn't clear it. Here's Derek Roy, shoots, and a right pad save by Eddie Lack. Cullen swings one on goal, and Lack had the bottom of the net covered, even though he might not have seen that one with the traffic in front. Now Spiza again, can't get the puck out, and a left pad save by Lack off Smith. Difficult shift for Lucas Spiza, who's twice had chances to get the puck out. Now Matthias bowls Cullen over, and that allows Dan Hamhuis to clear the zone. Puck off the skate of Seth Jones and in behind the Canuck net. Spiza still out there, tips it around for Jannik Hansen. Hansen lifts a high one ahead. Higgins after the puck. Now he pursues Jones. Bartley works it free to Taylor Beck, who dumps the puck out. Edler goes back for Vancouver. Mentioned Sestito out. Kevin Bieksa as well, injured early in the second. Originally, it looked like Maybe it was the shoulder of Craig Smith that caught him around the right eye, but upon further review, it was the puck that came straight up as it was contacted by sticks simultaneously. Ryan Ellis to Matthias Ekholm. Stops on the end boards. Taylor Beck covering in the blue line with the defenseman in deep. Now he's going to move down from the right point, fire the puck around. Narrowly missed the official there in the corner. Back to the blue line, Ryan Ellis. Edler intercepts behind the net. Gets the puck to Hansen, who clears it out. And that hit Beck going to the bench. Fans here already seen the Canucks called for too many men. And they appeal to no avail. Mathias to Dorsett. Canucks with numbers. Dorsett in on the left wing. Gets to the crease. He's poke checked Mathias on the rebound. The net's been knocked off. As Mathias tried to put it in from a sharp angle, and Bork's a little slow to get up.
Derek Dorsett's had some great chances in this game, and here he on the rush. He's looking to pass this puck, and Pecorini does a nice job, gets that stick down, and Sean Mathias can't get it over. Eddie Lack positionally has been so sound in this game. Perfect position. Once he doesn't see, he's still stopping because he is in perfect position. Left pad save on the second.
Brad Richardson against Paul Gaustad on this face-off. Lyndon Vay trying to hop onto the puck. Leaves on the inboards for Richardson. Gaustad takes him down. Dorsett throws a hit on Weber. Big scrum in the corner. Now Richardson into the corner for Dorsett, who was on the ice, and the Predators able to chip the puck out. Lucas Sbisa plays it into the Nashville zone. Yossi goes back. Daniel Sedin trying to hold the puck in. Now Hamhuis moves down from the blue line. And Gaustad ices the puck. So a face-off upcoming in the Nashville zone.
Paul Gaustad is one of the best face-off men in the league, and here he cheats like crazy. Look at where his right skate is. End of the second period against Henrik Sedin with the 2 seconds left. And here against Brad Richardson, look at where his right skate is. It's right in behind the linesman. And look at the leverage it can get on that. And here he goes again.
Don Henderson can't see it.
Can't see it. It's right in behind.
Hamhuis tried to throw one across for Daniel Sedin. That was broken up. Gabriel Bork moves in after his own chipping. Weber steps into him. Bork has the puck come to him on the goal line. Weber with a good play to knock it away from Colin Wilson. But the Predators hold the puck in. Now Weber around behind for Dan Hamhuis. Pass to Daniel Sedin. Nicely onto the right wing to Henrik. Henrik stops. Drops. Tanev with a drive. Rebound stopped as well as Daniel Sedin got it with a backhand. 4.5 into the third, a 1-1 tie. And Derek Roy intercepts and fires across to Seth Jones. Hard around for Cullen. Roy's after the puck. It came towards the front, cleared to the corner by Richardson. He and Cassian weren't sure who was going to go to the puck. And it stays in Vancouver territory for the moment. Roy from behind the goal. Back to Jones, rolling puck. He gets it across to Smith. Now gloved down by Tanev, who passes perfectly ahead to Richardson. Richardson trying to hook one in front now. Mathias with the backhander, stopped by Rene. Richardson on the rebound, couldn't put it home, but he gets the puck back to Sbisa. Long wrist shot. Here's Mathias. He was checked before he could pull the trigger. Edler to Sbisa. Mathias in behind for Cassian. Mathias again towards the front. Puck comes back to him. Good shift here for Sean Mathias, who puts one in front. Comes all the way back to Sbisa. Edler lets it fly. Rene the save, and he hangs on. No rebound there for Cassian or Mathias in front. Murph
Guys, we have time to tell you the second period scoring summary is brought to you by Panago Pizza. Before, during, or after the game, get a fresh Panago. Early in that period, Forsberg's second came on the power play. That's how the Predators tied it.
On the rush, Chris Tanev on the perfect pass from Henrik Sedin, and Daniel, the backhand, is blocked in front by Roman Josi. And Sean Mathias tried to pull it backhand forehand. Had he tried the backhand, I think he might have had a little more success.
Seth Jones able to knock the puck away. And that's going to be a penalty for
Using the hand,
closing,
yes.
putting your hand on the puck. Now they're going to decide if the face-off is over, I guess, because you're not allowed to win a face-off that way. You can't conceal the puck with your hand. And a conference here between the officials.
And Olli Jokinen
Definitely concealed.
Yes, and he is going to get a penalty.
Yeah, that's
the referee is going to call him for concealing the puck.
Or is he?
Or is he? I don't know.
Meanwhile,
came over to the penalty box.
Jokinen, the left-hand shot, is going to take this face-off right-handed. And Willie Desjardins wants a further explanation. Now he's got a good beef on this one. Okay, let's see if...
Yes.
Oh, now he's going to take it left-handed. He had the stick turned over for a moment, Jokinen. See, I think that would be a good fresh take.
Yes. Those guys that switch around for the face-off?
Yeah. Jannik Hansen, nice moves off the right wing. Puck comes in front. Benino couldn't get his stick on it. Higgins trying to center, checked by Ryan Ellis. Beck couldn't quite reach that puck as he tried to break it. Predators trying to keep it alive in the Vancouver zone. Beck attempting to kick the puck along the end boards. Here's Jokinen from his knees. And now Ekholm in from the blue line. With a couple of twirls in the corner. Taylor Beck. Ekholm wrists one towards the goal. That's off Hamhuis into the corner. Dan Hamhuis clears ahead. Puck gets by Ellis, who's able to recover as the Canucks were trying to break behind him. 6.5 into the third, a 1-1 tie. James Neal. Wide, now into the middle. They score! Forsberg is second of the game. Neal with the power move. And Forsberg able to put it behind Eddie Lack to make it 2-1.
Canucks make the line change, and here comes James Neal. Goes wide on Alex Edler, protects the puck. Leans in, and there's Forsberg in behind. As nobody picks him up, Canucks were in the middle of a change, and the guys coming off the bench didn't get there in time, and Forsberg gets it up and over the shoulder of Eddie Lack.
That one he buried after his initial goal in this game on the power play was tipped in by Dan Hamhuis. And now a shot attempt by Neal is off a Canuck stick and over the glass for a whistle. Nashville, the last 2 goals in this game, that man has both, and the Predators lead by 1.
Protect your engine in temperatures as low as 40 below with Mobil 1 Advanced Fuel Economy. Mobil 1. Energy lives here.
It's always nice to get the puck in deep for a line change, and it's not very deep. Here's the play, and you can see the Canucks now are changing, and the puck's already past the red line. James Neal cuts around Alex Edler, and nobody takes Philip Forsberg as he goes to the net. And Neal with the power move, and Forsberg there to pick it up and throw it over Eddie Lack's shoulder.
Conversation continuing between referee Francois Saint-Laurent and the Canucks bench, just ending now. And Vancouver, at the time that puck went in, thought it should have been on the power play. But what appeared to be a penalty to Jokinen overturned after a conference between the officials. Now a turnover in front, and Wilson couldn't get a shot through. Forsberg breaks in, tries a shot, blocked by Alex Edler. No career hat tricks for Philip Forsberg, the 11th overall pick in 2012, but came over from Washington to the Martin Erat trade. I think the Predators would do that one over again.
Yes.
Henrik Sedin spinning on Yossi, falls down. Daniel working to hold the puck in, but James Neal brings it out, plays it down over the Vancouver blue line. Edler has that one ricochet off a Nashville skate. Richardson moves in, battling Bartley. And he comes up with the puck with some help from Spiza. Here's Richardson standing on his pass. And Hughes might be trapped here. Smith has Cullen in front. Craig Smith centers Cullen. Healed it wide of the goal, and now the net knocked off. Officials take a look at it as Derek Roy complains that Dan Hamhuis knocked the net off on purpose.
Well, Dan Hamhuis coming back in desperation, knocks the net off. There's Hamhuis, gambles and loses. And now it's almost a 2-0, but the puck's rolling and Cullen can't get it. And there's Hamhuis coming back.
Predators might have a case on that one. So, tit for tat.
Yes. Accidentally on purpose, pushed the net off. His goaltender out of position.
Yannick Weber. Too far in front of Higgins, who works to hold the puck in. Bonino helping out. Tips it to the corner. Ekholm around. Gets past Edler, but not Jannik Hansen. Weber moves in on that one. Ekholm knocks the puck from him. And Mike Ribeiro gets to the center where Bonino takes control quickly up to Hansen. Trying to go wide on Ellis. Got his stick up on Ellis. There's going to be a penalty to Jannik Hansen. High sticking call will put the Canucks short-handed here. 8.5 minutes into the third.
And they're checking Ryan Ellis. Jannik Hansen tries to lean in on Ellis, but Ellis has position. You can see Ellis's left shoulder is in front of Jannik Hansen, so he can't get by him. And with one hand on the stick, he just catches him in the face.
Follow Sportsnet on Twitter for real-time scores and highlight video updates from around the league every game night. At Sportsnet, the new home of the NHL.
Follow Murph. Get all the news.
Fourth power play for the Predators. They're 1 for 3. Trying to take a 2-goal lead here. Henrik Sedin moves out short-handed. Drop pass for Daniel didn't work. Colin Wilson brings the puck forward. Now Smith to the side to Roy. Wilson from behind the goal. Back to Ellis. Henrik steals, trying to break out with Daniel. Henrik down the right side, leaves for Daniel Sedin. Weak shot as it fluttered off a stick, and Rennie able to make the save and hang on. Canucks looking for shorthanded goals in back-to-back games after Derek Dorsett last night scored the winner while down a man.
Shea Weber comes back on Henrik Sedin, so Henrik takes him out of position so that Daniel has a chance, but the shot is tipped and Pekka Rinne has no problem with it.
Minute 26 to go in the penalty to Jannik Hansen. Roman Josi starts from behind his goal. Now the Predators gain the blue line. Neal reverses for Ribeiro. Puck came off Edler high and in front, and Vancouver able to get it there and get it out. Neal rushes in. Another power move similar to the one that led to the Forsberg second goal. Neal's lost his stick. But the Predators still have the puck with 45 seconds to go in their power play. Matt Cullen down for Mike Ribeiro. Cullen again. Along for Josi. Slap shot. Hits Spiza. And he's able to clear the puck past Josi and out to center. Neal moves back in. Drops Ribeiro. Here's Neal. Hit the outside of the net. Forsberg on the rebound. stop Eddie Lack looking for the hat trick, and Vrbata clears the puck down the ice. A dozen seconds to go in the man advantage. As the Canucks try to get through this and mount a forward thrust to try to get the equalizing goal. Tanev around for Hamhuis. Hansen steps out of the box, and Nashville's 1 for 4 on the power play. Here's Jannik Hansen to Derek Dorsett, and a weak shot steered to the corner by Rinne. Tanev in for Mathias. Dorsett trying to force the issue, and Mathias rejoins the battle for the puck. 9 minutes to go in the third. Here's Hansen with the room. Centers Mathias with a shot, and I think that hit Derek Roy in front. Jannik Hansen checked by Cullen at center. Both teams will change as Tanev at the end of his shift skates forward. He shoots the puck in and heads to the bench. Daniel Sedin steals. Read that one well. Out from the far corner. Puts one in front. Henrik couldn't steer it on goal. And Nystrom spins away from Daniel at center, but the Canucks take the puck back. Daniel Sedin to Henrik Sedin. Flips one towards Vrbata. Seth Jones intercepts, and he sends Gostad away. Gostad from behind the Canuck goal, working along with Gabriel Bourque, who's separated from the puck. A nice play by Henrik Sedin. Vrbata's pass blocks. Edler follows up, tips the puck in. Vancouver starts another full change. Nashville will begin one as well. Under 8 minutes to go in the third, and there's Seth Jones behind the net. Pass to Victor Bartley. Hamhuis takes the puck for Richardson. Can't get it by Ellis. That shot well wide of the goal. Zach Kassian cross to Hamhuis. Gets around Ribeiro. Onto the right wing, Mathias right back out there for the Canucks. Here's Weber slamming one on goal, gloved by Rinne, as Kassian was unable to make contact, looking for the deflection. Just over 7 minutes to go. Canucks need at least a goal to get something.
Shop at Safeway and watch future Sportsnet telecasts, and you could win an all-inclusive trip for two to a Grand Bahia Principe Resort, courtesy of redtag.ca, where Canada shops for great travel deals.
Here's a play by Seth Jones. The maturity of a young defenseman. Stay in your position. Look around. And Henrik Sedin from Daniel Sedin. How many times do we see that where they a little space? That time Seth Jones right on him so that Henrik couldn't make contact.
Sedin's back out. 7:15 to go in the third. Henrik round for Daniel. Puck up by Roy, and now Daniel tries to find some space. Vrbata helping him. Pass back for Edler. Wrist one in front, and Rinne clears that to the corner. Daniel Sedin puts it towards the front, intercepted by Shea Weber. Up for Cullen, who's checked by Jannik Weber. That's a hand pass, I think.
Yes,
and now they
it's
blow
a
it
late
down.
call. Pretty obvious one. Jannik Weber reaches up, just shoves it forward to Henrik Sedin. Took a while for the backside official to make the call.
Dan Hamhuis, part of a Canuck defense corps that's been taxed in the absence of Kevin Bieksa. There's a shot by Colin Wilson off a stick and over the glass for a whistle.
James Neal almost had a hooking penalty there, reached around on Dan Hamhuis and then just let the stick go and didn't get the call. I wonder if he's going to miss the old Pittsburgh-Philadelphia rivalries. He was one of the most hated ones of the Penguins.
He's off to an excellent start. Came in vying for the Cy Young with 7 goals and no assists, but he's got a couple of helpers in this one. Canucks offside. This game's slowing down a bit. It's, as we mentioned earlier, a pit stop for the Canucks. They hit the road for 4. Leave tomorrow, play Tuesday in Colorado against the Avalanche. And some nasty memories from their recent trip there. 5:30 Pacific. Canucks and the Avalanche on Sportsnet.
Willie Desjardins not happy with the way things are going here. As you say, not much happening, and Nashville has been able to shut it down.
Lyndon Vey misses a pocket center. Ribeiro breaks in on the right side, making moves on Edler. Mike Ribeiro all the way across. Bartley with a shot and a stick save by Eddie Lack. Vey around for Weber. Bartley moves down from the blue line, but the puck is by him. Dorsett now settles it. Fires to Edler. 5.5 to go in the third. Edler plays a cross-corner dump. Daniel Sedin's after the puck. To Verbata. Slap shot. Whiffed on it. Puck is rolling. Henrik Sedin gets it on the right side. Behind the net to Daniel. Takes a couple of whacks from Jones. Here's Henrik Sedin. Out on the backhand. Behind for Daniel. And the puck knocked away from him. Daniel works to hold it in, but it's out to center. Edler sends it back in. Bartley for Nashville. Throws the puck towards the Vancouver blue line. Spiza gets it to Verbata. But Jones steps up to intercept that one, and he sends the Canucks all the way back into their zone. Gaustad was open in front. Predators couldn't get a stick on the puck to move it out to him. Both teams changing as Spiza starts out. Gains center, rifles the puck in. Richardson sends one wide. Spiza moves down from the blue line. Kassian behind the net to Richardson. Now for Kassian again. Pass for Richardson, picked off by Roy, and he clears the zone. Hughes to Kassian at center. Cullen broke his stick trying to knock that puck free. Mathias ran into the broken stick, and that allowed the Predators to get the puck back. Forsberg in, wrist shot off the mask of Black, I think. Then he stopped the rebound with the left pad. And Forsberg's had a trio of chances with a hat-trick goal here in the third. Kassian can't get by Ekholm. Here comes Forsberg again, working on Tanev. Centers the puck. Craig Smith back to Ekholm. Broke his stick on the shot. Now we got sticks everywhere out there. Kneels onto the ice. Long shot. Lacked the save. Tanev finds Edler with some room. And here comes Brad Richardson. Can't get by Gabriel Bourque. Time becoming an enemy here. Black's going to have to play that one for Yannick Weber. Bonino collects the puck up to center. Perfectly for Chris Higgins. And, ooh, that's a close play. I'm going to argue that your friend Don Henderson's having a tough night. 3:06 to go.
Of young Canucks fans at home, Cineplex Family Packs give you and the kids 2 nights out for the price of 1. Each pack comes with 4 tickets, 4 Cineplex movie passes, a Canucks food combo, and more. Tickets start at just $40 each. Visit Canucks.com/familypacks for more details.
3 minutes, 6 seconds remaining for Radim Verbata and his teammates to try to manufacture a tying goal. Nystrom chases after a puck in the Vancouver zone. Behind the net for Bourque. Knocked away from him by Henrik Sedin, who now takes a lead pass and skates to center. Daniel takes his pass on the left wing. Slows. Cuts to the high slot. Still with the puck. On the backhand. Shoots. Renee to save. Took of the puck. Hadn't covered. Gaustad gets it and flips it out to center. Henrik. Puck knocked off his stick. Josi to Cullen. And Canucks left to start from their own zone as Cullen was flattened by Weber. Weber ahead to Vey, who tips the puck in. Dorsett battling for the puck. Bonino back to Hamhuis. waiting for traffic. Steps around Cullen, lets it go. Big rebound off the pads of Rinne. And Cullen able to slide the puck out. 2 minutes remaining. And Eddie Lack likely not long for this game.
Eddie's been very good in this game. This is a game that he needed for his own confidence. He's played very, very well.
That one bounces wide of the Vancouver goal. Here's Forsberg. Philip Forsberg. Chopped down by Richardson. Sharp angle shot. They score! Colin Wilson. Short side, I think, up under the bar, and that should do it. It's 3-1 Nashville. You're thinking you jinxed him, is what you're thinking?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You're looking at me funny.
No, I'm not at all. And this is one of those that Eddie Lack had Dan Hamhuis, and Dan Hamhuis slides across. Could have been a penalty there, not called. Rolling puck. And it just goes up the short side on Eddie Lack. He doesn't see it.
Should be another point for Forsberg. An assist to go with his 2 goals. 18:27, the time of that one. As Colin Wilson gets the 3rd Nashville goal. Now here's Nystrom breaking it. Puck jammed in front. Gaustad takes it to the corner. First of the year for Colin Wilson. Verbata as Lack heads to the bench. The mountains become a lot steeper. Canucks need 2 as they get 6 skaters out there. Yossi plays the puck to the near side. Edler moves down. Henrik Sedin behind the net. Yossi able to clear to center. Daniel Sedin chops one. Rinne was
going behind the net.
He was. Had to scramble back to make the save. Let's check out the game review. It's brought to you by The Brick, saving you more on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs.
Philip Forsberg is only 20 years old, leads all rookies with 11 points. Eddie Lack has been pretty good, but the Predators out shooting the Canucks and in the second period they kind of took over. They had a couple of power plays and it seemed to turn the momentum, and without Kevin Bieksa, the minutes logged and the 4th line, Tom Sestito, and then guys out of position, and the Canucks have done so well as a 4-line team with the injuries. All of a sudden a 3-line team and only 5 defense.
Ole Jokinen is heading to the bench. Peter Laviolette told him to stay out there. Empty net. Maybe he'd like to get Ole Jokinen off the schneid here. Still looking for his first point of the year, as you pointed out earlier. 10 seconds left. And the Predators ice the puck. There'll be one last face-off with 3.7 seconds remaining. And to an end comes the 4-game win streak of the Vancouver Canucks.
And it's amazing how Pekka Rinne just game after game after game, and so if he only allows 1, which it looks like, there's 22 goals in 11 games against the Predators. Carter Hutton has played 1 game so far, and as John and Neil were talking about, the Predators' schedule, there's a day off between games. So chances are Rinne will play every game.
Canucks now 0-3 on the season, the second half of back-to-backs. Philip Forsberg, 2 goals and assists. Pekka Rinne stopped 26 of 27. And Eddie Lack, despite playing well, still looking for his first win of the year.
And very little run support. And in this one, Eddie's had his first 2 games where he let in a goal at a critical time in the game that would have turned the game around. That 3rd goal was just, that meant nothing to this game, and Eddie kept his team close enough that they had a chance. He got no run support.
John, your 3 stars for this one, a 3-2 win for Nashville.
Well, relatively easy. Philip Forsberg, 3 points. Dan Hamhuis, without Kevin Bieksa, logged a lot of minutes, was very good, and then James Neal, who drove the offensive wheel and helped Philip Forsberg along to his big night.
Canucks Hot. Brought to you by Subway. Try the savory new prime rib melt. Thick cuts of juicy Canadian beef for a limited time only at participating restaurants. Subway. Eat fresh.
I said 3-2. I meant 3-1
Yes.
the final here. Nashville taking it. Canucks just making a brief stop at home after the win in Edmonton. They're back on the road beginning in Denver on Tuesday. Big night for Philip Forsberg. Pekka Rinne as well. And Nashville takes it 3-1. Sports Central now. Brendan Dunlap, Jackie Redmond.